I'm paying attention. I wonder if we're good to go.
I do not. I work on my motorcycle only because I throw my leg over that.
I'm along these lines. I'm like that. I think
I work on my motorcycle.
and we're going to downtown.
Okay, we're at 6 o'clock, so go ahead and call the Tippecanoe County Area Plan Commission meeting for September 18th, 2024 to order. And first on the agenda is the roll call.
Jackson Bogan. Larry Leverins.
Here.
Gary Schroeder.
Here.
Vicki Pearl.
Here.
Jerry Reynolds.
Present.
Greg Jones. Tom Murtaugh.
Present.
Diana Looper.
Here.
Carla Snodgrass. Todd Roswarski.
Here.
Rabita Rashkarnikar. Lisa Dahlem.
Here.
Steve Snyder.
Present.
Tracy Brown.
Present.
Jason Domkowski.
Present.
Jody Hamilton.
Here.
Kathy Parker.
Here.
Quorum present.
Very good, and as you heard during the roll call, we have a new member replacing Bob Metzger, Todd Roswarski. Welcome. Thank you. Representing Lafayette. Okay, next on the agenda, briefing session.
The cases that have not been withdrawn are all ready to be heard. I also wanted to make note, and this is as good a time as any, is that our next meeting will be held in Lafayette City Hall due to the early voting taking place here. So that'll be 6 p.m., same date in October, third Wednesday, but it will be Lafayette City Hall's council chambers.
Okay. Is that just for the Plan Commission or any other meetings going to be there?
It's going to impact all meetings that take place in here during October, during the dates of, I think, October 8th, Tom? Yeah, is that right? Yeah. Pardon me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So
BZA and APC.
Okay, just BZA and APC will
Yeah.
be there. Ordinance and exec.
Ordinance and exec will be here.
Very good. Yeah. Okay, very good. Next, we have approval of the minutes.
I move to approve the minutes from the August 21st, 2024 public hearing as submitted.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any comments or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. New business.
I move to hear and vote to authorize a belated subdivision extension request for S3111 Beck Development LLC subdivision.
Second.
Okay, right.
Okay. Well, we do get these from time to time. I'll kind of present everything here, but the petitioner is asking for permission to essentially request an extension. So he's late in asking for that, so he's asking for it now. So this initial step, which I believe we've done via voice vote in the past, simply to allow him to have permission to ask for that extension. And then we can get into the meat and potatoes of the case itself. On that point, the case does go back to 2001 for a 13-lot commercial subdivision, non-residential project. I believe there are 8 lots remaining, and so that's essentially the 8 two-year requests for one for each lot. So, but first things first, let's get the belated part out of the way.
Very good. Any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Now we will vote on the extension.
I move to hear and vote on the subdivision extension request for S3111 Beck Development LLC subdivision.
Second.
Okay, right.
Yeah, as I previously mentioned, we have some lots remaining on this. Staff did consult with the city to make sure that, since it's been a number of years, that there have not been any material changes to the codes, particularly stormwater management and so forth. They've confirmed that there's not, so this can continue, in staff's opinion, to be extended, until such time as those codes have changed and a new petition is necessary. So, but staff's opinion that it is not, and this extension is acceptable.
Very good. Thank you. Petitioner, the representative, wish to make a presentation. Anybody here from Beck Development, and do they actually need to make a presentation? Not really? Okay. So any questions? Anybody from the audience wish to comment on this? Questions from the board? Hearing none, we have a yellow ballot.
Don't mess it up.
Any questions? No dumb questions. I get everyone? Yeah, thanks. We have a unanimous ballot for the extension.
Very good. Thank you, Ryan. So we're going to enter our public hearing portion of the meeting, and we have a couple statements to read. For those of you unfamiliar with our procedures, the commission would like for you to know the following. When we hear requests to subdivide land, we're only concerned as to whether the actual drawings showing the division into lots meets the technical requirements of our ordinance. The question of appropriateness has already been determined. Anybody wishing to make a comment or provide us with information regarding any subdivision petition will be given an opportunity to do so. When we're hearing requests to change in zoning, we're trying to determine if the new zone being requested and the uses allowed in the zone are appropriate to that property and supported by the comprehensive plan. With each case being heard, our staff will present its report. Then the person requesting the rezone will be given an opportunity to speak. Following that, those of you wishing to speak in favor of the rezone will be recognized. Then those of you who wish to oppose it will have a turn. This will be your only time to speak. The person requesting the action will be allowed a rebuttal. Plaid and commission members will then ask questions and finally vote. Please limit your statements to no more than 5 minutes. We ask that you not repeat what others before you have already said. We are a 17-member body with a majority of 17 is 9. Regardless of how many commissioners are actually present, at least 9 votes in favor or 9 votes against are required for an action to be official. If fewer than 9 of us agree to either approve or disapprove an action, the case must be heard again next month. Our vote on a request to subdivide is final. Our vote on a request to rezone serves as a recommendation to the appropriate city council, town council, or county commissioners, who must ultimately decide on changes in zoning. When addressing the commission, please state your name and address for the record, and we have a sign-in sheet over at the table. Cell phones must be turned off while the meeting is in session. If you need to make a call, please step out of the room before using your cell phone. All exhibits presented to the commission become the property of the commission. Larry.
I move that there be incorporated into the public hearing portion of each application to be heard this evening and to become part of the evidence at such hearing, the Unified Zoning Ordinance, the Unified Subdivision Ordinance, the Comprehensive Plan, the bylaws of the Area Plan Commission, the application and all documents filed therewith, the staff report and recommendation on the applications to be heard this evening and responses from the checkpoint agencies.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. So we're here's her first case.
I move to hear and vote on UZO Amendment 113.
Second.
Thank you. Amanda Esposito, APC staff. This amendment has 3 sections to it, which I will present to you all at once here. The first one is regarding the definition of agricultural rental halls. Ag rental halls have been in existence in the ordinance since 2013. Since then, we have seen a number of those open up for business here in our county. The definition included a number of public events that these halls would be allowed to hold each year, and that number is 4. They were defined as public events. Well, recently, the question of what makes a public versus a private event was brought up, so the proposed amendment would clarify the difference between a public and a private event. Private events are limited to attendance by invitation or reservation from ticket sales. Public events do not require an invitation or reservation from ticket sales. Furthermore, such events where a nominal fee is charged at the door without invitation or reservation would still be considered a public event. A small clarification was added at the September Ordinance Committee 2 weeks ago, and the wording of that amendment reflects that situation. The second part of it regards pet brokerages. At the request of county commissioners, we were tasked with differentiating between two types of businesses that involve the sales of dogs and cats. Both pet stores and pet brokerages currently fall under the SIC Code 599 for miscellaneous retail stores not elsewhere classified. It's a catch-all for a number of other types of shops that are allowed by right in several of our commercial zoning districts. We're proposing two new definitions, the pet store and pet brokerage, which I will let you read. These two would be included as new entries as well in the permitted use table individually. Pet stores would be permitted by right in the same zoning districts where they are currently allowed, but pet brokerages would only be permitted by special exception in the I-2 zoning district. Because there are so few I-2 zone properties that are unimproved, future pet brokerage businesses would most likely have to go through a rezone request, putting the jurisdictions at they would have the chance to vote on that rezone. If that rezone is approved, then the BZA would also hear a special exception request for such a pet brokerage business. So this was discussed and approved at our August Administrative Officers meeting and approved at the September Ordinance Committee meeting. The third part of the proposed ordinance amendment is regarding the SIC Code 7999, which is another kind of a catch-all SIC code. This one involves both indoor and outdoor businesses, not elsewhere classified. The UZO splits them into two categories, indoor and outdoor, and it was recently brought to our attention that while outdoor recreational activities are permitted by special exception in the A and AW zone, indoor activities are not. So this proposed amendment would just make it so that both indoor and outdoor are similar and that they would be required to have special exceptions in both the A and AW zones. We are recommending approval of these ordinance amendments. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Very good. Thank you, Amanda. Any questions or comments from the board? We did discuss that at length at Ordinance Committee, and I think we came up with a pretty good solution. So if there's no questions, or anybody from the audience who wants to speak to this? Hearing none, we have a yellow ballot.
We have a unanimous ballot recommending approval. This ordinance amendment will then pass to all the localities for final approval.
Very good. Thank you, Ryan. Subdivisions.
I move to hear and vote on S5213, Arbor Chase, Section 6, Phase 3 and 4, Major Preliminary.
Second.
All right, so we are on the west side of the county here, located east of Salisbury between Hayloft and Burnley Drives in West Lafayette. This is the next phase of the Arbor Chase subdivision. As you can see, most of this area is R1, a few R1B, which is more densely, which is more dense subdivisions, and a few zones out here. This is just to the west of Phase 1 of Arbor Chase. You can see that this is all just undeveloped. All of the street names have been approved and are shown on the drawing, which you can see here. The petitioner has requested to bond in lieu of completing all the required public improvements. There are just pretty standard conditions, so staff is recommending conditional primary approval contingent on those conditions. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Very good, thank you, Amanda. Petitioner or the representative wish to make a presentation.
Hello, my name is Nigel Hensley with Kimley Horn. Our office is at 101 Foundry Drive, West Lafayette, Indiana, 47906. We are the civil engineers for Arbor Chase, Section 6, Phases 3 and 4. As previously mentioned, this section is immediately west of Section 6, Phase 1, and a continuation of Hagerstone Drive, with future considerations of the north road connecting up to Auburn Meadows. We are proposing a wet pond in the central of the subdivision, which will meet Tippecanoe County and West Lafayette drainage ordinances, and we will outlet stormwater to the west towards Bowes Ditch. As previously mentioned, it's 102 lots, and we are formally requesting approval for this subdivision. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Anyone from the audience wish to comment on this? Questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, we have a white ballot, and was there bonding on this? And there is bonding, thank you very much.
We have a unanimous ballot for approval.
Very good, thank you, Ryan. Rezoning activities.
I move to hear and vote on Z 2936, 900 Place LLC, John Teboul, Centennial's Edge PD, NBU and R2U to PDRS.
I second.
Okay. So this project is within Centennial, Historic Centennial's form-based code overlay, which you see kind of hash marked there. It does have prescriptions for townhouses that are essentially akin to what you see on what was accomplished on 5th Street, just around the corner, where you have front yard right up to the street, backed up to an alley, the more traditional design. This project wanted to kind of increase the density by kind of decreasing the yards and make it a little denser, a little more urban. And so to accomplish this design, they had to chuck the form-based code and go plan development. The land assemblage is pretty much every lot but the historic theme house, which is in the southwest corner there. That is not going to be part of this petition. Of course, this is the former pub. It used to be on the northwest corner. The proposal itself is these will be single-family attached homes, so they will be fee simple lots. the lot lines running through the party walls. These are going to be homes for sale, so this is not a rental project. So we are going to be platting ultimately 36 lots for these homes, and each one is going to be 2 stories with a 2-car garage. You can kind of see what they did to try to increase the unit count here by kind of eliminating the yards and having private drives. They're able to tighten up the project a little bit. The current north-south alley is being mostly vacated, except for the kind of the southern portion there. One, to allow continued rear-loaded access to the historic home there on the southeast corner. And then also it provides convenient access for the trash service for the new townhouse community. So there's going to be an interconnecting pathway for all the residents there to be able to get back to that space through the site. So that no matter what unit they live in, they've got reasonable access to get to that trash dock or just dumpster area. So the one new curb cut is proposed off of 5th Street, which in this part of the city, 5th Street's pretty quiet. And so they'll be coming in off of there into a private drive. And then other than that, there was no right-of-way that the city needed for this particular area, so there was really not much to happen with the streetscape. What you see out there is what you'll get, but there will be upgrades. Obviously, we're going to get street trees, improved sidewalks around the perimeter of the site. Staff is delighted. We worked well with John on the Corridor Place project, which is under construction just up the hill in the Romick neighborhood. He's sort of following that up with this project, which is a little denser, a little more urban. The city is going to have a lot of scrutiny over the final architectural elements. You'll see that the image we have there is pretty generic looking. It literally is a placeholder. The units themselves, the interiors of the units, the floor plans are fairly well set, but the exteriors are going to be, before they go into final permitting, the city staff is going to be able to kind of have final approval of those elevations. Because this is a gateway corner to downtown and to the city, and they want to make sure it looks sharp. So, but we're very pleased with the design, and the overall intent. The developer's done very good work with a lot of various infill sites, and so we're kind of excited to see this one take shape too, and finally something happen on this block that's been vacant for too long. So we are recommending conditional approval. The conditions in there are pretty standard for plan developments. So. Of course, this is going to be a homeowner community, so there will be covenants and a homeowners association for all the common areas. So, be happy to answer any questions.
Very good, thank you. Petitioner, thank you.
Good evening, Chris Shellman of Gutwein Law, 250 Main Street, here on behalf of petitioner John Tiebel. I also have a Nick from T-Bird Engineering and Design to answer any technical questions. But ultimately, really thank the staff and the city helping us come together on a neat addition to this area. It'll provide a additional housing option and a unique product. John sort of worked off a floor plan that's been very popular at Catherwood and now coming in, as you know, on the Corridor Place just on 4th Street. And we look forward to bringing that here. As Ryan mentioned, the city will have final say in all of the materials and the elevations and the change, but that communication has been ongoing. Just for a little insight, I have a tiny photo. It didn't really scale up right. That I can share with you, but ultimately you see it's mainly masonry. It's come a long way.
Send it around.
First confirmation.
There you go.
Oh, better one. So good. That's much better than mine. But you can see what a lot of people take, and ultimately going to lead to, in my opinion, a really nice product for the city, the homeowners, and kind of time up nicely with the change of the streets there. So hopefully it'll be more people, more pedestrian oriented, and a nice green and masonry addition to the city. Be happy to answer any questions, but if not, recommend approval. Thank you.
Very good, thank you, Chris. Anybody from the audience wishing to speak to this? Hearing none, questions from the board?
I would just like to add the city is supportive of this project.
Very good, thank you, Jerry. Any other comments from the board? Hearing none, we have a yellow ballot.
We have a unanimous ballot for approval. This will carry on to Lafayette City Council next month.
Very good, thank you, Ryan. Administrative matters.
I wanted to mention is next APC meeting is the week that the MPO conference takes place. This will be the first one I'll be attending. So I will not be here at next month's meeting, but
Okay.
we will have staff here to cover things. So
Okay, so that's next meeting in Lafayette City Hall.
that'll be in Lafayette City Hall, 6 p.m.
Very good, thank you. We okay?
Yep.
Okay. Approval of the October Executive Committee agenda.
I move that the following request for subdivision be placed on the October 2nd, 2024 Area Plan Commission Executive Committee agenda at petitioner's request, placement thereon being without reference to compliance or non-compliance with the adopted subdivision ordinance. S 5218, Snyder Minor Subdivision, a replat of Bartholomew and Davis, Lot 49, minor sketch.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Determination of variance, we have none. Director's report.
Sent out this morning. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments on that? Okay, citizens' comments and grievances. Hearing none, we'll take that last motion.
I move to adjourn.
We're adjourned, thank you.
Bing bang.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Got 3 minutes a case and 22 dollars.
Yeah.